Welcome to our new series, the 200 Movie Challenge. Our goal this year is to watch 200 movies that we haven't seen yet. If you want to listen to the full podcast where this clip is from, the link will be in the description. Now enjoy today's movie.
Well, let me get to my second movie, but I guess the first new movie I can add to our list that I saw this week. It's Soto. This technically now is the newest movie I have seen during this project. Because this was released straight to Netflix October 10th. And it stars Keira Knightley and Guy Pearce, speaking of Memento. And I was going to say, I've always been a fan of Guy Pearce. We kind of now just talked about it from Memento and LA Confidential, because those two, he just kicks ass. Unfortunately, he's had an up and down ride since. But I saw this movie called The Woman in Cabin 10. I was on Netflix looking for a film. This looked like a good suspense thriller. And I was like, all right, like you say, just press play. So this is actually
it's a new movie.
It's a new movie. Yeah, it just came out last month. So technically, if you look at my letterbox, this is the newest movie that I have seen, because this never was in theaters.
This could easily be like an early 2000s movie. Like when you say that, and I'm like, oh, this came out in the early 2000s. Nope, this came out in 2025.
This came out in 2025. This is based on a novel that just came out not even 10 years ago, not by any author that we would probably know. So anyhow, let me give you the premise. And again, this sounds like a me premise, but anyhow, well, let me give you the start. So Keira Knightley plays a journalist, and the movie kind of starts off. You see, she basically witnesses a murder. And you kind of learn that it was a source that was talking to her, and they got murdered. She got murdered because of it. These people basically threw her in the car, drowned her, and that was it. So obviously Keira Knightley took some time off, and now she's back at work, and she's trying to, like any journalist, like she's just trying to move on, find the next big thing. And even her boss is like, why don't you just find an easy thing to do? And she's like, well, I have this project or this thing, these basically rich people for this charity want me to come on this yacht, kind of do this piece of the charitable work or the new charity that they're going to be doing. And so it's kind of a joke. Oh, a yacht, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, she goes on this yacht, and basically Soto, I mean, she's like us, t-shirt, she doesn't think high, not that we don't think highly of ourselves, but we're down to earth. Let me just put it that way. It's not like we live in this rich world, and these people have millions and millions of dollars. One guy's even a famous rock star. So she already is kind of like the outsider, but she was specifically asked to be on here. And her ex-boyfriend, who's a photographer, happens to be on this too. She did not know. They did not know that they'd be there. And I say that because one time she's trying to duck him. She sees him coming down the hall, and she's just trying to be on her own. She goes into cabin 10 where she sees this young lady. She's like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to get away from someone, blah, blah, blah. And they're like, okay, no big deal. And in the middle of the night, she hears someone get thrown overboard. And she's like, where's that young woman from cabin 10? And they said, cabin 10's been empty. No one is there. And she's like, no, I talked to her. I saw her. And they're like, there's no one registered. So I will say this, Soto, the premise started off pretty well. But me and you have seen plenty of movies where you can figure out, because obviously all these people are like, well, first of all, is it this person? Is it all of them? Or, they try to put in, is she just going crazy because she witnessed someone drowning and now she's out there in the middle of the freaking ocean and that's what she's seeing? And you're like, no, it doesn't feel right. This doesn't seem like one of those kind of movies. This is very much a whodunit kind of thing. But there's more to the story to it. You also find out that kind of the main guy, Guy Pearce, his wife has cancer, and that's where all this charitable stuff is trying to come in. They're trying to start the charity based on her behalf and stuff like that. And so that's kind of the underlying story. But overall, a lot of things get lost in this, Soto. It feels like this was going in the right direction. It feels like, okay, you're trying to figure out what's going on, but you're like, it can't be this. It can't be this obvious. And a lot of things are pretty obvious. So that kind of ruined it for me a little bit. But the cast I love. Keira Knightley's great. Guy Pearce is great. There's the guy who plays the governor from The Walking Dead, David Morrissey, who's also in Doctor Who. He is great. So a lot of it was just there. It was just again, I think I kind of said this about certain movies in the past. It's just like, it's just too predictable. But you know what? At least it was done in a fun way, because I will admit the one thing it did correctly is, in a way, it solved it or told you what was going on halfway through. Because, you know, you watch a lot of these movies, you get the big twist, the big reveal at the end of the movie. And you're like, okay, this happened in the middle. Like, they kind of give you the answers you've been looking for, but then create a new question. You're like, oh shit, okay. And that was the cool part. So you're like, all right, because it's something you expect. It was something you might know is going that direction, but now there's more to it. So you're fine with the first half. You're like, okay, whatever. Now what the hell is going on here? So I this is new. I don't want to spoil it too much, but overall, this is a lot of it's run of the mill. And this is your typical thriller, not like Tenet. You kind of can figure out what's going on. They tell you point blank, and you're like, okay, I'm along for the ride. But I think I was a little disappointed. I think the second half might have saved it. Some people might say it's the other way around. They like the first half because they were trying to figure out the mystery. But again, we've seen a lot of these movies where I think you kind of know the direction's going. And Guy Pearce is just awesome in anything he does. Like I said, I always loved him as an actor. But yeah, there was not much to this. Keira Knightley does well. Obviously, she, the fact that they kind of try and say she could be going mad, and she's really second guessing herself. And you're just trying to figure it out, and it is pretty obvious. But at least they don't make it the whole movie, and I think that I appreciate it. And they gave me a whole new twist or a new storyline to follow. You're like, okay, now what's going to happen? And that's the one that you kind of stick with a little bit. So. Yeah, this is your typical. I will say, we've talked about it. This is a popcorn flick. You know what? If you and your wife or you and your loved ones want to watch a thriller, an easy to watch suspense, you don't have to think too much. This isn't bad. It's not great, but it isn't bad.
Nice.
So, and I'll leave it at that. Not that we always hope no one's listening. I don't want to kind of spoil it. But if you're watching, if you do watch this, just. It's typical. So, where do I put this? Is now the big question. My 96th movie.
Yes.
96. Yes, it is going above the Ron Clark story. That's our ongoing joke with the last 4 or 5 episodes now.
I mean, yeah, I think that we're pretty consistent with that. 4 or 5 episodes. I think that's been the last.
I don't know. Longer. This is going to be a little above the middle. So definitely top half. I think I'm gonna put it. Like number 38. Like I keep thinking that my halfway point's 40. Technically, my halfway point's out 45. That still just bewilders me. But right now, I feel like 38's a good spot. This is the area of decent movies where, like I said, I don't hate this movie. It wasn't bad. It was enjoyable. It was predictable, but it did offer me something new. And like I said, Keira Knightley and Guy Pearce, they're just both awesome at what they do. So, yeah, The Woman in Cabin 10 just came out a month ago, and the newest movie I've seen. And that's pretty much it. I don't want to say too more, but there isn't really too much more to say without giving away anything. So,
right.
That's it. 38, right underneath Tucker and Dale versus Evil, which is just silly. Again, another kind of popcorn flick, just a different style. So.
Mm-hmm.